Everybody knows that a slip and fall can happen at any time, any place, and nobody's ever prepared for it. But what people don't know is if they fall in a grocery store or any type of a business establishment is, hey, do I have a claim here? And you'd be surprised at the number of people that will call me and they say, I fell in this restaurant or I fell in this grocery store. They're liable, right? Well, not necessarily. The law in Florida is that, yes, absolutely, businesses, restaurants, any type of a store that you're in, they have a duty to have a reasonably safe premises for you. But what exactly does that mean? Well, it means that if you have an opportunity to present a claim because you've been injured in one of those type of places, you have to prove certain things. One of the things is that there had to be something dangerous on the floor. Spilled milk, eggs, fruit that's been crushed, oil, greasy food, something that caused you to slip and to fall. The other portion of that is that the business had to have known that that was there and they didn't do anything, or it was on the floor so long that they should have known that it was there and done something about it. Well, it's easy enough to prove that they knew it when the rare occasion happens. For example, somebody's walking by a refrigerated section and you see that there's water leaking underneath from the refrigerator and somebody put a couple of paper towels that are soaked and drenched. You know that the business was on notice that they had a problem and they really weren't doing anything. That seems pretty easy to prove. But what about when there's just something on the floor, walking down an aisle, and you slip and fall? How do you prove that it was there long enough that they should have done something about it? Well, there's a way to do that in Florida, and you need to use circumstantial evidence. So there are things that people need to do to protect themselves if they fall and they get hurt at some business. The first thing to do is after you're on the ground and you make sure that you're okay enough, is to make sure that you take a photo or take out your phone and have video, not just of exactly the spot where you slipped and fell, but the surrounding area. And why is that important? It's important because if you don't do that, evidence disappears. If the store does what they should do and rush over and begin to clean up, well, the evidence of what was on the floor is no longer there. It's like a crime scene. If it's not protected or preserved and somebody tampers with it or they take care of it, it's gone. And so with your cell phone, you can take a photograph and you can show what's on the floor. And to prove that the business should have known that it was there, and it was there long enough for them to do something and they didn't, you can see that there are track marks from a cart, footprints, dirt, debris. Some of whatever was on the ground is wet and some of it is dry. If it was partially dry, that means it was there for some time. So the very first thing that you should do is save that evidence. The next thing that you should do is get names and phone numbers of anybody who might be around, a good Samaritan that comes and helps you. Nobody wants to be contacted years down the road, but if you have their information just to verify later, hey, that's what happened, and they can say, yes, I was there and I can support what you're saying. So those things are important, to preserve the evidence by photo or video, get the names of the people who are there, and then you've got to report it. Tell the manager, tell the employees, hey, look what's here. You want to make sure that nobody else steps and slips and falls like you did, but you also want them to have a record so that it's in their file that on whatever date that was, at whatever time, you slipped and fell because of something that they had that was on the ground. Once you're able to take care of that, you need to get medical attention right away. So often people, they just want to dash. It's embarrassing to slip and fall. You just want to get out of there. And even if your back is hurting or your neck or your shoulder, most of the time people think, unless it's a broken bone, it'll go away, it'll get better. But that's not always the case. The day after a slip and fall, nothing's protecting your body when you slam down to the ground. You can have bruises, you can have stiffness and soreness, and it's important to get to a doctor right away to see how you're doing, and so that they can say, this is what you may need or not need. But medical care is so important for yourself and for your claim if you're going to present one. The last thing that you need to do is contact me, Hubie McGinley with Schwed, Adams and McGinley. I'll personally answer all of your questions, and I'll contact that business, the restaurant, the grocery store, the hardware store, wherever it was that you had slipped and fallen, and say, if you have video, you need to protect it, you need to preserve it, and don't ever get rid of that video, because the video is the best evidence of what happened to you. That will be the evidence to show what was on the floor, how you fell, and it will be consistent with the report that you gave to the store. Those are the things that you should do if you're in the unfortunate position when you slip and fall when you're on a business premise.